Good morning, everyone. My name is Anna Kate Broadus, and today I want to speak to you about the power of our words. We can all remember a time when someone's words lifted us up and encouraged us. Those words could be from a parent, a teacher, a coach, or a friend, but we can all remember someone who said something that sparked who we are. We can all probably remember a time when someone's words were negative or hurtful and left us scarred. The phrase, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me," is so false. This is why it is so important to surround yourself with people and be people who bring helping and healing with your words, use your words to edify and encourage, break the chain of gossip, and can have difficult conversations without destroying a relationship, a friendship, or the self-image of another. But before I dive into all of that, I want to tell you a story. Robert Louis Stevenson, most famously known for his adventure story, Treasure Island, was sick for most of his childhood. One night, his nurse came into his room, found him with his nose pressed up against the foggy pane of his bedroom window, and she said, "Robert, come away from there, you're gonna get sick." But Robert would not budge. He sat, mesmerized, as he watched a lamplighter, making his way slowly down the street, lighting each lamp one by one. Robert said, "Look, there's a man poking holes in the darkness." Our words have the power to do the same thing. We, like the lamplighter, have the ability to poke holes in the darkness of lives of others. If our words aren't bringing light, then the alternative is a sad one. They're contributing to the darkness. Let's all strive to live like the lamplighter. Think about how many times a day you have the opportunity to lift up someone else. At least dozens, probably hundreds. The Bible has tons of verses that reference our words and how we use them, but my favorite is probably Colossians 4:6. It says, "Let your conversation always be full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer to everyone." Now, the part of this verse that has always stood out to me the most is the phrase, "seasoned with salt." Why should our words be salty? It's so ironic that my generation uses the word salty to mean that we're bitter or upset about something, when in reality, the word salty means something totally different. Throughout history and still today, salt serves a useful purpose. It's first used as a preservative for food. It ensures that food remains fresh and keeps it from ruining. Synonyms for the word preserve include to guard, to keep, to protect, to sustain, to uphold, and defend. So if our words are supposed to be seasoned with salt, shouldn't they serve the same purpose? They should keep promises, protect feelings, uphold what is right, and defend the broken. But salt serves another purpose too. Salt adds flavor. Salt tastes good. Imagine eating popcorn without having any salt. That's basically eating styrofoam. Salt adds flavor, but do our words, do they make the conversation better? All things leave an aftertaste. So what kind of aftertaste are our words leaving? Salt makes us thirsty. But do people thirst for our words and positive encouragement in their everyday lives? I can remember a time when my mom and a coach seasoned their words with salt for me. I was 13, on my way to a club volleyball tryout, struggling with self-image, and for some reason on this particular day, I was just fed up with the appearance of my hands. I know that may sound silly to some of you, but I just remember looking at my hands from every possible angle and comparing the size of my wrist to the size of my mom's wrist and reaching over and grabbing hers from the steering wheel and just wishing that my hands were different and dainty. But all the way there, I was just huffing and grunting, and you can tell my mom was getting annoyed. She got there, we parked quickly, locked the doors, and she said, "Anna, what is wrong?" And I was like, "Mom, I just told her," I said, "I hate my hands. I hate everything about them." I started crying, and before I could even finish my sentences, she grabbed my hands and she said, "Anna Catherine Broadus, you are perfectly and wonderfully made. There is not a fiber of your body that is a mistake. God made your strong hands with a purpose in mind." Of course, I appreciated her sweet words, but I was struggling to believe them for myself. At this point, I knew I just needed to get on the volleyball court. So I was trying out to be a setter. And basically, it's the setter's job to use their hands and give it everything they've got to put the ball in the perfect position for the hitter. I was thrilled when I found out that I had made the team that I wanted. And as my mom and I sat across from my new coach in the signing room, the first thing that coach said to me was, "Anna Kate, oh my gosh, I love your strong hands and I need them on my team." My mom and I just looked at each other and giggled. She knew that God made my hands with a purpose in mind. My mom and that coach both seasoned their words with salt for me that day and poked holes in my darkness. Now I look at my hands in a whole new light. I know that these hands have a purpose, like our words, to uphold, to defend, and to take away the burdens of others. Now, being a lamplighter doesn't mean that we use our words to sugarcoat the truth. Healthy relationships are honest ones. Insincere compliments and false approval mean absolutely nothing. It's critical, however, that difficult conversations are spoken in love and with tenderness so that the dignity of the one that we're talking to can remain intact. My great-grandmother, Mamo, is remembered for implementing family truth meetings. We still have these family truth meetings, honesty hours, heart-to-hearts, whatever you want to call them, when necessary. For example, my mom may say, "Anna, your dad and I are so proud of how you handled this, but we want to challenge you to work in this area. How can we help you with that?" Or they may say, "Anna, you have been getting pretty mad pretty fast. What do we need to talk about?" These honest conversations allow for the opportunity for growth, prayer, accountability, and encouragement. Our words have the power to turn the tide of negative conversations, especially ones filled with gossip. Just like one spark can set an entire forest ablaze, one piece of gossip can spread like wildfire and ruin the reputation of another. With our words, we have the power to put out those fires. We can courageously confront someone who's spreading harmful words of another and point out the positive instead of focusing on that negative like everyone else. But not all of our words come directly from our mouths. For many of us, and in some cases most of the words we speak come from the tips of our fingers as posts on social media or text messages. These words literally have the power to spread to hundreds, maybe even thousands within minutes. These are the words that we should be held most accountable for. I hope that we can all shed some light in these dark places. So clearly, words matter. Long after they are spoken. We often replay conversations in our head, either negative or positive, over and over again. But we have the power to choose what kind of words come from our lips. Our words can either build others up or break them down. They can restore or they can ruin. But like I said, we have a choice. So let me ask you this. Is there value in your voice? Is there wisdom in your words? Does motivation come from your mouth? I challenge all of us to let light come forth from our lips. Thank you.